Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kalayarasu. My purpose here is to ask you some important question about insurance industry. Tell me more about you, sir.
Hello, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to share my experience. My name is Vijay Kumar. I'm a unit manager in Great Eastern Life Assurance.
Well, I would like to ask you some question today, sir.
Okay.
Let's go for first question. Okay, how did your leaders demonstrate behavior such as communications, decision making, or vision that made you feel supported during the pandemic?
Well, during the pandemic, leaders held weekly town halls, explained decisions clearly, and prioritized continuity with empathy, ensuring both customer protections and employee welfare, which reduced anxiety and strengthened trust among the staffs.
I see. Can you recall a specific instance where leadership messages or action inspired hope or strengthened your confidence to continue working during uncertainty?
One instance was when our senior director personally ensured staff that no one would lose their jobs despite financially pressures. This message come at a time when colleagues were fearful of layoff across industries. It motivated me as work harder, knowing that our leader valued stability and loyalty over short-term cost cutting.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, sir. For the third question, what measures or strategies were introduced in your department that help you adapt and remain resilient during operational or personal challenges?
The department introduced flexible work from home policies, rotating schedules, and digital claims processing system. Leaders also arranged online counseling sessions, which many colleagues found useful in coping with stress. These strategies reduced honor while ensuring that customer service standards were not compromised. For me, personally, the flexibility allowed balancing professional responsibility while managing health and family commitments during lockdowns.
Well, okay, let's talk about more, sir. How did your team or colleagues work together to overcome difficulties, and in what ways did leadership encourage this collective resilience?
Okay, we faced staffing shortages, but teamwork ensured no tasks were left undone. Leaders encourage knowledge sharing sessions where senior officers train juniors in handling claims digitally. This not only build skills but also create a sense of solidarity.
Okay, that's good. Can I ask you next question, sir?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, how did leaders build trust and provide moral or emotional support that help you feel secure in your role during times of disruption?
Actually, leaders were transparent about financial risk but never hide challenges. They have one-to-one check-ins with staff, asking about personal well-being, not just work. This honesty built trust because we knew they weren't sugarcoating the situation. Emotionally support, like allowing extended leave for family emergencies, reassures me that my security was valued beyond just my output.
Uh-huh. My next question is, what kind of behaviors or practice made you feel a strong sense of being in this together with your colleagues and managers?
Managers work alongside staff during peak claim processing periods instead of delegating everything. I recall nights when leaders stayed online with us until midnight to clear backlogs. Their presence created solidarity. Colleagues also voluntarily covered each other's shift when families were affected by illness. These shared sacrifices built to culture where we truly felt united in facing this crisis.
Well, thank you, sir. For the seventh question, in what ways did leaders or peace express empathy, compassion, or genuine care for your well-being, and how did that affect your morale?
Small acts of empathy method. My manager often asked about my parents' health and encouraged me to take time off when cases surged in my area. Colleagues supported each other by sharing workloads when someone felt sick. Such gestures showered genuine care and raised morale, making me more committed to the organization despite the stressful environment.
All right. For the next question, did you notice any changes in the organization culture or values such as solidarity, mutual care, or empathy becoming more visible during the crisis?
Yes, before the pandemic, culture was more targeted driven, but during the crisis, values like solidarity and empathy become central. Leadership promoted wellness initiatives and placed well-being on the agenda of departments' meetings.
Okay, sir. Tell me more about what kind of culture your department implement, either your company implement during pandemic time.
Okay, employees begin using inclusive language like we instead of I, which signed as shift and culture towards mutual care and collective responsibility for resilience.
Okay. Well, for the next question, do you think the leadership behavior and solidarity practices you experience can continue beyond crisis situations? Tell me why or why not.
Well, I believe this practice can and should continue. Leaders realize that transparency and empathy build long-term trust. However, the challenge is sustaining them once financial pressures return. If leadership institutionalizes flexible policies and wellness programs, this behavior will remain.
All right. Based on your experience, sir, what leadership approach or practice should Malaysian insurance firms adopt or strengthen resilience and caring cultures in the future?
Okay, firms should embed empathy into relationship training and link it to be performance indicators. Transparent communication and digital upskilling must be permanent, not crisis driven.
Uh-huh. Thank you, sir, for your good time, and I am appreciate a lot. Good evening, Miss, and thank you for joining this interview. I am to get your experience as an agency manager in insurance industry during pandemic time. Before we begin, how do you feel about participating in this discussion?
Hi, Mr. Kale. I am, good evening. I am Stella from AIA Public Takaful Berhad. So thank you very much to participate me in your discussion today. So actually, I felt so encouraged and so felt very privileged to share my experience, especially during the pandemic time, because during the pandemic times, it is not only tested our leadership, but also it tested our care, our mutual understanding with employees and the leaders. So I believe it would be a very fruitful discussion for you today to
Yeah.
have this.
For sure. How did your leaders demonstrate behaviors such as communication, decision making, or vision that made you feel supported during the pandemic?
Okay, one of the strongest behavior that I observed with my leaders is the consistent and the transparent communication, especially the adapting during the pandemic time. Adaptation is very important during this uncertain time. So they always have a big town halls for us, not only to update the new updates of the company, but also to show the bigger picture to the employees on how we're going to adapt on this. So I think as an insurer, it is very essential in giving customers a, a very clarity and a very peaceful thing during, I mean, the peaceful mind during this uncertain time, because most of them during that time was very nervous, right? During the pandemic time. So what I had noticed, what I had witnessed is that the system have very much quickly adapted to digitalized. I mean, they digitalized the claims, the submission, everything being digitalized, and this really makes us very easy, or not only for us and also to the customers. So I think the leaders have a very good clarity and understanding during this pandemic.
Okay, Miss, quite inspiring.
Thank you.
Allow me go for next question. Can you recall a specific instance where leadership messages or actions inspired hope or strengthened your confidence to continue working during uncertainty?
Yes, in this case, I remembered one instance where our CEO addressed during the pandemic. Our CEO addressed all of us at a point, and he reminded us that Takaful is not only about insurance; it's about the trust. It's about helping people. So that tagline actually made a lot of sense for me at that time, because he explained that pandemic is overwhelming, of course, at that point of time. But every claim that we are doing for the people that trusted for us is called amana. That means it's beyond the trust actually. So each of the people's family's burden is actually reducing on that time, when we do the claim. So that message really stayed with me actually forever until today. And it also gave me a hope that whatever we are doing right now is not only for our KPI, it's actually beyond that. It have a deep social value on whatever we are doing. So that instance actually changed everything.
I see, I see. Okay, Miss. What measures or strategies were introduced in your department that help you adapt and remain resilient during operational or personal challenges?
Okay, in my department, actually during that time, leaders introduced us with the flexible working hours, where it's also helped us to manage our childcare. It's also helped us to manage our family time and the commitments during the lockdown. So besides it, they also provide some digital tools. For example, to claim to handle the claims, everything had been done remotely actually that time. So we no need to go to the office to handle it everything by hard copies. So that strategies really makes us very easy to us for us to work, and also some wellness check-ins. Wellness check-ins means like they will also always monitor with some Teams meeting or Zoom meetings with the employees. They always have keep in touch in order to make sure that we are emotionally stable at that time. So it really makes us to work in a very peaceful time, peaceful working environment. I thought there was a big pandemic was going on at that time.
Okay, very inspiring. For the next, how did your team or colleagues work together to overcome difficulties? And in what ways did leadership encourage this collective resilience?
Okay, I think at this point of time, WhatsApp group really gives us a very good communication and teamwork together, because we open up a WhatsApp group and whatever we will chat inside. And besides that, the leaders also never forgets to celebrate the small wins, the small achievement that we had did on that time. Even though all of us are actually stressed at that time, we have commitment problems, we have family issues. During the pandemic, I guess everyone was stressed, but we still never forgotten on the small wins and achievements that we have to be celebrated at that time. So the recognition really gives us a valued kind of feel during that time. So yeah, that is how it works.
Okay, next. During times of disruption, how did leaders build trust and provide moral or emotional support that help you feel secure in your role?
Okay, that point of time, the leaders openly disclose their financial problems during that time, how actually the company and how we going to maintain the stability in our services. So it was a very open discussion. And emotionally, they asked managers to spend one-to-one time with the employees, because I always remember that my manager frequently not only asks about the timelines, but he also asks about how my parents are doing during the time, during the pandemic time. So such a personal attention gives me a sense of safety and sense of trust in the company. So that is how it is made.
Okay, great. So the next, what were some types of behaviors or practices that created a strong feeling of being in this together with your managers and colleagues?
Okay, uh, this is a really important question for me, because during that time I felt the togetherness, because I still remember that some of our peers have have internet issues. So what we did, we took over their job and
Mm.
we do as it seems is our job. So we don't really like uh, look back and say, hey, this is your job, this is your job, you have to do. We didn't do that. Actually, that time we felt the togetherness. Then
Mm.
we cooperate and do all the work together. We Our motive is just to finish the work and to satisfy our managers. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, Miss, thank you for your great sharing. Can we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. How did leaders or peers show empathy, compassion, or real concern for your well being, and how did it impact your morale?
Okay. I think during that time, uh, the managers provided some counseling and they have a mental health day. Seriously, during that time, even though we are doing remotely, we have a mental health day. And where co-workers, also some of the co-workers been caught of COVID-19. And so what we did, we just shared the duties
Mm.
with the work team members, and the leadership personally, the leaders actually personally they go and visited the employees who get affected. So it really witnessed the empathy, it boosted our morale. So it really re-assured the workers, not only to be working efficiently, but also a compassionate being. So that is how. Yes.
Okay. Moving forward, did you observe any shifts in the organizational culture or values like solidarity, mutual care, or empathy becoming more apparent during the crisis?
Yes, of course. Absolutely, because usually we've seen these values of solidarity, the empathy, everything we only included in the posters of the company, right?
Okay.
But on that crisis time, it became concrete. We saw we saw that this thing became real in real life.
Mm.
For instance, the company implemented a hardship for the benefits of employee, where whoever in financial pressure, they actually give a hardship fund for them. And the culture also shifted from performance-oriented people to the one who is compassionate people as well.
For the next question, can you believe the leadership behaviors and solidarity practice that you went through will hold up beyond crisis moment? Why or why not?
Yes, of course, I believe they can, but only if they institutionalized into policies rather than being viewed merely as a crisis management. I think you know what I mean. That because being flexible working hours is not only meant to be done during the crisis time, but it have to be made permanently, because these flexible working arrangements actually gives a very good mental health and work-life balance to our employees. So, if leaders persist in highlighting empathy and transparency during the crisis time, why not it have to be done in our ordinary times as well? So that is one of the point of view that I have, in order for them not to slipping back again to prioritizing only sales and targets. We have to prioritize the mental health as well.
Based on your experience, what leadership approach or practice should Malaysian insurance firms adopt to strengthen resilience and caring cultures in the future?
Okay, that is very simple for me. As what you will get the points from my interview before. I will recommend three approaches. First is continue to invest in digital transformation. That is very important for the employee not to be overwhelmed with these manual works. Second is to strengthen the assistance on the programs with a focus on mental health. As I said before, mental health is very important, right? So that. And thirdly is ensure our leaders to be well trained, not only technically but also compassionate leadership. This will ground it with the principles of Sharia and Takaful, where the importance will be given to the compassion of the leaders as well. And these practices will not only help Takaful firm to be a very great firm in terms of sales, but also will be remain resilient while staying true not only for the ethical but only and also as a caring institutions.
Okay, Miss, that was such a great sharing. Again, thank you very much for your sharing and your valuable experience.
Thank you, Mr. Kale, that I really felt very privileged to share my experience and my point of view. Thank you. Thank you to
Thank
have me as a participant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Miss. My name is Kashmawati. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. We'll go through a few questions about your experience during the pandemic time. Can I know more about you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Intini and I am an assistant manager in General Zurich. So, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to share my experiences and I hope my responses will contribute meaning to understanding resilience and leadership practices during this challenging time.
Okay, Miss. Okay, Miss, for the first question, how did your leaders demonstrate behaviors that made you feel supported during pandemic?
Actually, my leaders will held weekly virtual briefings, communicated openly, and explained decisions clearly. Their transparency and consistent updates reduced uncertainty, reassures us, and made me feel included and supported throughout disruptions.
Alright, Miss. Can you recall a specific instance where leadership inspired hope?
I think during a town hall, our CEO shared personal struggles working from home. That vulnerability humanized him, inspired empathy, and motivated me to persevere despite uncertainty, stress, and changing workplace expectations.
Okay, Miss. Okay, Miss. For the third question, what measures helped you adapt and remain resilient?
I think flexible hours and also virtual mental health check-in support balance. These initiatives acknowledged personal challenges, strengthened resilience, and allowed me to remain productive while coping with family responsibilities and professional demands.
Alright, Miss. For the fourth question, how did your team overcome difficulties and how did leadership encourage this?
We actually created peer support task groups to manage workload surges. Leaders encouraged collaboration, recognized collective efforts, and highlighted achievements in newsletters, reinforcing solidarity, and strengthening resilience during operational changes.
Okay, Miss. Okay, Miss. For the fifth question, how did leaders build trust and provide moral support?
Actually, my managers listened actively even when the answers weren't immediate. and followed up promptly. Their empathy and reliability created trust, reducing anxiety and providing emotional security during a time of uncertainty.
Alright, Miss. For the sixth question, what behaviors made you feel in this together?
Actually, I was so touched when I get to know my managers worked late night shifts alongside staff during outages. Sharing burdens symbolized unity, demonstrated commitment, and fostered strong feelings of collective solidarity, which encouraged us to remain resilient and motivated.
Okay, Miss. Thank you for the answers. Okay, Miss. Shall we continue to the next question?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, for the seventh questions, in what ways did leaders or peers show empathy or care?
Actually, the leaders sent personal check-ins about health and also family situations. This simple gesture of empathy significantly boosted morale, making me feel genuinely valued beyond professional contributions and daily responsibilities.
Okay, Miss. For the next question, did you notice any changes in culture or values during the crisis?
Yes, exactly. Like solidarity, empathy, and also care became more visible. Organizational priorities shifted from solely performance metrics toward compassion, employee well-being, and also community support, strengthening the workplace culture and fostering lasting trust.
Okay, Miss. For the ninth question, do you think the leadership behaviors and solidarity practices you experienced can continue beyond crisis? Why or why not?
Yes, surely can. But only if leaders formalize them into policies and also practices. Sustaining empathy-driven leadership requires institutional commitment, ensuring solidarity and caring behaviors remain integral to organizational culture.
Alright, Miss. We have come to the last question, which is what leadership practices should insurers adopt for the future?
Insurance firm should should combine digital adaptability with empathetic leadership, balancing technological innovation with human-centric care, builds long-term resilience, strengthens trust, and sustains organizational success in uncertain business environments.
Alright, Miss. Thank you so much for all the answers. I really appreciate your time, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alright.
Okay.